Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Slayer. Thank you for 200 followers on Twitter and 3,000 subs on YouTube. You guys are amazing. I want to talk about this blockchain technology adoption PDF that I talked about on my recent video about XRP and Interledger. But this comes from the NTT data company, which is Everest, and that is connected to the Hyperledger Foundation members. So they are part of that list of members. They're in that fabric. But basically what Hyperledger is they're working on the advancement of blockchain open standards and protocols, but the Linux Foundation is the one behind Hyperledger, and they lead the biggest consortium of technology companies and financial institutions in collaborating to establish DLT and blockchain technology standards. And this is a whole list of members, basically, of companies, financial institutions. As you guys can see, it is very deep. I'm scrolling very fast. You guys can go on hyperledger.org and check this out. Go on the about section and then find members, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it includes their connection to like Accenture, Consensus, which are all working, guys, to basically further this digitization of the economy in the world. NTT Data is a member of Hyperledger, so that should give you enough information and tell you that this is valid. This PowerPoint is basically confirmed, like this is real stuff. They would know what they're talking about when it comes to the timeline and when they want this to happen and go live. But it's supposed to take place sometime between 2020 to 2025. We know that it didn't happen in 2020. It may happen this year, or it could be delayed until 2022 or even as late as 2023. But one thing is for certain is that they're not going to use Ethereum or Bitcoin. They're going to use XDC through the Corda R3 platform or XRP. Thanks to ODL and RippleNet, we know those platforms are going to be utilized. Instead of using something like Bitcoin, which is archaic, is old, it's expensive, they're going to opt for the option that saves them money and time, and that provides a better experience to their customers and clients. And the blockchain solutions for capital markets and trade finance, which are multi-trillion-dollar industries, by the way, is where R3 Corda emerges. ILP Java becomes the interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects, and these Hyperledger Foundation projects are Stellar. Let me find it right here. Stellar Lumens, the Stellar Network, Walmart, Swift, R3, Quant, Ripple, right? Consensus, Accenture, IBM, JP Morgan, and Chase. Guys, I know that I sound like a utility maximalist in all my videos because I talk bad about Bitcoin and Ethereum, saying how bad it is, how inefficient the networks are. But really, we should be grateful. I'm actually glad that Bitcoin was created and that Ethereum was made. I'm not jealous that they have more adoption right now and more attention in this space. I'm actually really glad that everything worked out the way it did. And the reason why is because if it wasn't for Bitcoin, you wouldn't have Ripple being born and solving the quadrillion-dollar mess of a problem that exists in the economy for derivatives, all the money, cross-border payments and all that stuff. If it wasn't for Ethereum, you would never have the XinFin token, XDC. And I'm going to show you why you would never have it. And you have to thank Ethereum for it, because we know that the XinFin was basically a fork of JP Morgan's Quorum blockchain, but I'm sure you didn't know that Ethereum is the reason why XDC was made in the first place. If you look here, this is the XDC Network, which is a leader in hybrid blockchain. You wouldn't have those properties, those hybrid features and properties in the XDC Network if it wasn't for Ethereum, because the XinFin Delegated Proof of Stake, or XDPoS, is a fork of Go Ethereum and JP Morgan's Quorum. Why do you think that you can migrate ERC20 projects, which are Ethereum based projects that are made on the Ethereum network, over to the XDC network? Why do you think that the XDC network supports EVM compatible smart contracts and cross-chain Ethereum based token transfers? And you can even do this. You can store ERC20 tokens and ERC721 NFTs on the XDC network and XRC20 compatible wallets. So the reason why that's even possible is because XDC is basically the child of Ethereum and JP Morgan's Quorum. So thank you, Ethereum. Thank you, Bitcoin, for creating the two best digital assets in the space, which is XRP and XDC. XRP is the answer to Bitcoin. XRP is what Bitcoin should have been in the first place, and XDC is what Ethereum should have been in the first place. You know, super efficient, right? 2,000 transactions per second. Everything settles in 2 seconds with finality. I'm gonna show you why that's gonna be important soon. And it has to do with CBDCs, or central banks digital currencies, and that allows for low gas fees. And guys, I love this space so much. Coinbase CEO said China's digital yuan is a threat to the U.S. reserve currency, believes that it represents a threat to U.S. reserve money status long term if the U.S. doesn't move fast to create its own. So there's already peer pressure going on, guys, and that the U.S. should create a CBDC, or a digital dollar. And this is the phased implementation plan that was put on pause. If you go on here, you can see that, however, on September 23rd, 2019, the Federal Reserve Banks announced a pause to the ISO 222 phased implementation plan, which is this right here, that was supposed to go live in November 2021. We don't know if it's still going to be going live then, or 2022, or 2023, or in one day, some random day, who knows. But that was put on pause, and that phase one would not begin on November 23, 2020. So that they paused that, they scrapped that. They said that the pause follows a request by the Payments Market Practice Group, a payments best practices expert group, to reconsider a phased implementation in favor of a same-day one. So that's why people claim that the implementation of ISO 222 can happen in one single day, causing everything to go up overnight in price. Who knows if that's going to happen? But this is Accenture. Accenture is basically connected to the Hyperledger fabric, but they mentioned this about COVID-19. They said that it increases the urgency for banks to transfer payment systems as digital payments soar, finds research from Accenture. So Accenture predicts $7 trillion in consumer spending will shift from cash to cards and digital payments by 2023. And look at the phased implementation plan that they had going on. They said that all this stuff was supposed to essentially go live. The ISO enhancement phase is when? 2023, according to Dutch Bank, and their migration of Euro, US dollar, and sterling regions to the ISO standard. You got Consensus, which is another organization that's tied to the Hyperledger fabric, but they are talking about this TradeFinance market, which is $16 trillion, and that accounts for the exchange of capital goods and services across international borders or territories, and that it is broadly split into two categories. So 75% is various goods, typically shipped by shipping containers or ground transportation, and 25% is commodities. So this is what makes international trade, or the trade finance market, guys. The Hyperledger fabric is deep. I already showed you the connections between Ripple and Quant, R3 Corda, and this is why, guys, the finality will be important, because this whole super fast 2-second block time with finality and up to 2,000 transactions per second is important for CBDCs. Because if you go here to the Saudi Central Bank and the Central Bank of the UAE, Joint Digital Currency and Distributed Ledger Project, came out with this report on blockchains and protocols, and they said that the R3 Corda Hyperledger fabric and the JPMC Quorum blockchains are the ones that check all these boxes, that have support for smart contracts, built-in support for permissioning and privacy in the DLT platform, support for consensus with finality property. Gee, I wonder where R3 Corda and the Hyperledger fabric got that from. I think it's from this coin right here, XDC Network, XDC Token, right? Well known in the financial industry, which all these are obviously well known in their respective industries, and used in previous CBDC projects. And they noted that the public blockchain protocols such as Ripple and Stellar, which are often positioned for cross-border remittance use cases, were ruled out. So meaning they couldn't use those, apparently, based on their research, because of the need for permissioning and privacy for an interbank payment use case, which these protocols didn't support. So this is according to their research, the Saudi Central Bank. So they didn't do the research, because Ripple and Stellar are part of the Hyperledger fabric, which they're praising right here. They're shortlisting as platforms that they can use. So Ripple and Stellar obviously are a major part of the Hyperledger fabric. Why would you rule them out? R3 Corda is going to utilize XRP and XDC as main settlement tokens. why would you rule out Ripple when obviously it does have those permissioning and privacy features? If you go on here, this is what Quant has to say. They have done more research, obviously, because look, they mention Ripple as an enterprise permission blockchain. So it does have permissioning. It does have privacy if it's enterprise. If it's made for enterprises, it has to be private, obviously. So why would they lie? What's their reason for lying? It's probably to steer people away from buying these tokens. Anyway, they're going to be bullish on XDC, Stellar, and XRP without telling you they're bullish on them by mentioning these platforms. So they're not going to specifically say that obviously their CBDC is going to utilize XRP. They can't openly say that. So they have to mention R3 Corda, and that's code word for XRP XDC. So yeah, it's just my own opinion, guys. Bitmart's going to launch XDC on their platform and exchange. More liquidity. XDC is at 10 cents. I think we're seeing a comeback in the price. There's been a lot of volatility recently. There's 32,000 accounts already on the XDC network, guys. So I'm very bullish. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, definitely leave a like and comment on it to help the YouTube algorithm push this video out there for more people. Subscribe to my channel if you are new. I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.